Hello everybody, I'm back with a special video, and this one I talked about my sample box when I stopped doing my scent of the days, and I was going to stop after that. I was going to make another video, and then people had been praying for my wife and all in different fragrance communities, and we're part of fragrance family, and Miss Floss said you can't just stop, so just cut that crap out. You're going to make something that talk to do this. So I went to something called a scent a week, which is that gives me some time to be free. But that left me with a whole box of samples that I wasn't going to do, that I had ordered from, and these are all from North American independent niche houses, the ones in North America. In North America. And I had already done some of these, not some that are in the box, but I've done one from each house at least. This house, it's called Xarmony, and it's Xarmony. The X sounds like an H. And it's by Trill Noel. And I already have 2 scent of the days on this. I have one called Cairo IV, and I have one called Acqua di Famiglia, which I have a full bottle on, and I did a scent of the day on that. So you can get my opinion of those two from that. Now, I like both of them. And so this left me with this little package, and they're just, there's 5 of them in here. They're little 2 ml samples. And this is a Generation 3 or Generation 2 sample pack. And the reason I bought this Generation 2 is because he was on a live with Brian from my 2 Cents, and he was talking about these fragrances in particular. And he said some of them were really good summer scents. So that's why I bought these. And the one thing about Trill Noel, he's like a history buff, I guess, or as I would say, like a nerd buff. He reminds me of, he's his generation. I have a son that's in the comic books and stuff like that, and all the Marvel movies. And it's funny, I was watching Dry Down Low Down when he revamped his show the other day. He got on there talking about sci-fi stuff and Marvel and all that. So that generation, this Trill Noel he's part of that generation, and some of his creations are specific to that, and you'll hear in the names why. So I wrote it down what I did, and what I did, and this may be, I'm gonna have to change this next time. I did one here, because I had 5. I did one here, and one here. And this arm might have been a mistake, because one thing about Trill Noel and Xarmony, he puts on there mint for life. And a lot of his fragrances, not all, have a strong mint. And as I go up my arm, I'll show you, this is the one that has the most mint. So I didn't know that when I was doing it, but I almost got blind to that mint. So anyway, I'll say what's on here. This is what's Cleopatra. This is Cairo or Cairo II. And I now know why there's only a 2 and a 4. And then this is Yasuke. I think that's what it's called, Yasuke. This is Odinsleep here. And this one is Primal. And boy, is it Primal. So I did write down some notes, and I don't want to go just from memory. On Cleopatra, first of all of these Miss Floss 4s, and they stayed 4s except for Cairo. Cairo, she gave a 5, 6, and it's gone up to a 7. So, and when I did Cairo IV, that was an 8 to her after I had worn it for a while. So, for Mrs. Fritz, Cairo's the one. And even with the Acqua di Famiglia, she liked it, but it didn't get what Cairo got. So that's I'll just state that. I liked most of them. This one's called Cleopatra, and what I wrote, what I got out of it, and I can still smell it now. I get a rose, I get a floral, I get some woods, which are in there, and I get an earthiness on this, but more of that earthiness from like patchouli vetiver, which I'm going to talk about earthiness again, and then I do get the mint, I do get the citrus, I get the fruit, and I do get the sweet, and he talks more about the rose, though, on his thing, because it's with Cleopatra. He has that rose in it. And it does have rose and geranium in it. And you get that floral. What I noticed about when I looked at the notes, it looked like, speaking of being nerds, it looked like what's that, Stranger Things, like the Upside Down world. The way the notes were listed, it looked like the base was on the top and the top were on the bottom. So just, and I'm not going to read all these notes because he throws a kitchen sink of notes in every one of these except for Odinsleep. So you'll have to go onto his site, harmony.net, and look at all these if you want to know what the notes are. And I don't know how to put them on my film, so I don't do that stuff. So sorry. So that's that. And as I said, I gave that a 7 at the end. I like that. This is one I actually like. And then the next one's the Cairo or Cairo. Or, I'm from Philly. We say crick and creek. So, I say Cairo. Sometimes I say Cairo, Egypt. And this, I have a video on Cairo IV, and this hasn't changed much. And the reason is I asked on that video, like, where's Cairo? Where's Cairo 3? Or where's Cairo and Cairo 3? Because there's a 2 and a 4. And I had a conversation with Trill, actually over the phone. We actually talked over the phone when I did Cairo 4. And he explained to me that this was, this was a creation. So I don't think he sold Cairo and Cairo 3, but he did sell 2 and 4. But it was building on it. He wanted to get it perfect. So 4 was his perfection of it. I like 2. But I like 4 too. I gave 4 an 8, and I give this an 8. So, I didn't do them side by side. And that's the one we talked the most about, because what I get out of this is a spiciness, and it's called a Middle Eastern gourmand, and it reminds me when I was in the Middle East of being in a bazaar and getting all those different fragrances, the spices, the incense, the fruits, the candies. He hit that on the mark. And that's what it smells like. And I'm not a big gourmand person, but it's perfectly blended, and I really like that one. So like I said, I gave that an 8. I probably could have given it higher. So now we get to this arm. And this is Yasuke. And the story on Yasuke is, I think that's how I should say it, and he was a black samurai. So, and you look up the history, and there's a black samurai named Yasuke. And Miss Floss gave this a 4. I gave it a 5 initially, but now I give it a 7. And it's weird why I give this a 7, although it's starting to change a little bit now too. I get like this earthiness to it and this darkness, but a different earthiness than what I talked about in Cleopatra. The earthiness on this, it reminds me of that carrot in Vetiver Patchouli by Montel, like a dirty earthiness, dirty soily earthiness. But it also has, it has other stuff that sweeten that up and stuff. So I did end up giving it a 7, but that really stood out to me, that earthiness. And I liked it. Odinsleep. Odinsleep doesn't have as many notes. For some reason, only has 5 notes. And he usually throws a kitchen sink at it. And Odinsleep, this reminds me of, it's grass tobacco, vanilla, tonka bean, and of course, mint. So it's like a Cools almost. It's like a tobacco mint, and then as that mint settles down, you do get a little spit of that vanilla, and with a little touch of mint on it. But you get the tobacco through all the way through. It's nice. I gave it a 7, and he has a little story on that too. And then the last one's Primal, and I have like a minute and a half to do this. Primal. Not the one I want. Primal is I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4. Miss Floss gave it a 4. I'll give it a 5. It's not terrible, but it is what it is, and what it is a mint bomb. This is his mint for life, and the reason it's mint for life. I looked through the notes. He uses a triple distilled peppermint, eucalyptus. He uses kaffir, menthol, and then one other one, cinnamon, which all are mini. And so he has a lot of mint in this, and that mint is just really overpowering. It probably blinded me on some of these other ones because of how much mint was in this. Now he says different things come out in this. A lot more notes in this than those I read. He says it's been on your skin, you'll get different things out of it, and that's probably what it was. Overall, my impression of the house, I gave most of them a 7. I'm not a reviewer though, so those numbers are just my personal numbers in my collection. They're not a number for you to say, go buy this. 7 out of 10 people love it. That's not what it is. The other thing I'll say about him is Well, never mind. That's it. Just almost 10 minutes. So please pray for peace and please be kind and have a nice night. Bye.